What's up, everybody? It is Matt from Lectric All Wheel, and we have come back to the Lectric XP 3.0. And today we're going to be doing something a little unique. We have added two products to our lineup, and we wanted to share that with you. Now, this is the DateX DX2 dual input, dual output, 30 amp continuous, 45 amp max current dual battery combiner, and we are very excited to have this. Now, of course, the Lectric doesn't have a dual motor scenario or dual controllers, but what we do want out of this is a plug-and-play accessory so that we can add some USB plugs to our Lectric, and we have some music sync lights that we are going to run a test demo on this with you so that you can see one charging we're going to charge an Apple iPad, and then we're going to plug in some LED music strip lights that you can actually install on your light and go on those glow rides that you've seen before. And if you haven't, they're pretty awesome. And I know a lot of you run around with some music playing and you need to keep your music and your jam box charged up. So this will allow you to do that if it has USB accessory plug-in for its power source. And we are super excited about this. This accessory has a male and female XT60 dependent on your connection. We will be utilizing the dual output of the DX2. One will go for the bike itself, and then the other will be for this accessory plug-in for the dual USB port, so that we will have a plug-in for the lights and then another for a charger for our iPad or our speaker, whichever you choose. And if you have more, then you can go ahead and do that. We are super excited about this. This is a smaller but more efficient version of a balancer. It has dual input, dual output, and the heat loss efficiency is so great that you will notice that it's been 3D printed, and there is no worry about any melting or any overheating for this combiner. So keep that in mind. This will work for a dual motor bike. If you're out there thinking, I want dual battery, dual motor, and perhaps you don't have electric, or you have modified your electric and you need something to work, this will be the one to do it. We are super excited about this one. The casing and body of this is actually smaller, so we're going to do an internal install, run two of our cords out, our extension cables out, one for the traditional 48 volt 10 amp hour battery in a bag, so we have our dual battery set up, and then we will have the other cable which will be for our accessory USB plug-in. And then we're going to use this phone bag, which we've become pretty familiar with. We like it a lot. We're actually going to put this right here on the front end of the bike, and that's where we'll store our plugs so that you have a place to plug into for your accessories. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary, and if you're in the area, check out Ebikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Get in that Facebook group, make an event, and go for a ride with your friends. You have to make the event so that you can go for the ride. Here we go. This e-bike already has a balancer in it, and this is our traditional 20 amp balancer. So we're just going to go ahead and take that out, and then we'll show you the full install as well. So this is the cable that we had run into the bike to get everything going. So when you open it up, it's going to look like this. The plate will be on the controller, and then there will be the XT60, and then you'll just remove this. What you'll notice is that the body of this one is the same size with the plugs as the traditional 20 amp, and then it's a little bit more narrow, which is good, especially for those of you that have had trouble sliding in your balancer like this. It just barely fits. So this is a good thing. Yes, it is more expensive, but this can be used across a higher output line of e-bikes, and especially those with dual motor, with controllers that have a 30 amp or more current limit, and this will go up to 45 amp max. It's 30 amps continuous for the DX2, which is great. So the package actually comes with 2 cables, and then everything that you get with the universal set. If you do decide to use this with a high current output, you're going to need to upgrade your cables to 12 gauge rather than the 14 that comes with it, but this is perfect for Lectric and most of the lineup for the traditional 48 volt bikes that are on the market today. So it comes with 2 extension cables, 2 male female bullet adapters, and then 2 Dean's T-plug to XT60 adapters. We're going to leave these in here because we've already got all that stuff out. The 3.0 has XT60, so it's pretty easy. What we're going to need to do is we're going to take our 2 extension cables, and we're going to need a male end and a female end inside the housing so that we can plug it in here. One will be for our battery, the other will be for the USB accessory plug-in, and that looks like this. And we will use the accessory plug-in, and if you do it straight to the box, it would be to the out port on the DateX2, and you would just plug in right here like so. But we're not going to do that. What we also are hoping is that we're going to use the 2 extensions, and we'll just plug straight into these with the DateX2. So let's get our cables run first. And I'm just going to come in from the bottom here. There's one. And so this is the female end, so we need the male end to come in on the next one. And there we go. So then we're going to take our DateX2 and go ahead and plug those in. So one of them will be a battery input. There's one. And then the other will be the accessory output. So we'll go ahead and plug that in. And then we need our controller output to our controller. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in. So we have controller output. The outputs are the 2 inner channels. So output to the controller, output to the accessory line, and then input from a battery. And then we need another input from a battery right here. And that will actually be our plate. There we go. Feed that in there. Then we're going to feed the DateX right over the top, and then we're just going to close it up. And then for this, we're just going to use our old school traditional install. We're going to put the battery right here. But first thing you need to know is that we need to get our hands on these cables that we just ran, and then get them up and out ready for install. And then we know that our plug-in is only one way, so we're just going to go ahead and plug in that battery, and this is the male out. And that is our accessory plug. We're going to take the female XT60 and just go ahead and plug that in. And there we go. For storage, we're going to use this bike case phone bag. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the packaging. And then it has 2 straps that I will put here. And then I'm going to run it upside down, and then it has 2 zippers that will allow me to close in on this thing. Now, if you don't like the orientation, you want to turn it over, you may need to get another extension set of XT60 cables to get a cable into the bag over the top. There we go. And there we are. So this will hold storage. Again, you can get an extra set of XT60 cables to make sure you have enough length. And then there's actually another strap that you can put on this bar right here to make it stable. And then that'll give you a nice, good storage area here. From here, I just want to demonstrate some of the possibilities with this so you can see it actually working. We know that the dual battery aspect will work, but I'll demonstrate that real quick for you as well. So what I'm going to do is unplug the second battery. And then there's power, so we know that that's the first battery and it's working. And I'm going to plug the second battery in. And then I'll just crack open the bike. And what you'll notice is I'll just show you the screen right after, and you'll see it has maintained power, and that will prove that the second battery is working. There we go. The battery is now separated, and then the power is still on. So our second battery is working, so that's good. We'll go ahead and plug this back in, or put it back together. Now to the fun stuff. So I got these USB music LED lights from Amazon. They are synced and red, green, and blue RGB with a remote, so you can do a lot of extras with them. And then they do have a sticky side, so you can string it on the frame of your bike. It comes in a wheel like this. And then I've also brought a charger cord for my iPad. I'm just going to go ahead and remove this so you can see it all in action. So first, let's just go ahead, and this is live. So the one thing you need to know is that this connection is live. So if you leave something on, you're going to need to worry about that. But let me just go ahead and plug this in. And then there you can see it is charging. That's awesome. Charging off of the bike battery. And so now I'm going to take my second USB port on this adapter and going to go ahead and plug these lights in. And they are on. The remote does allow you to turn them off, so you can see that. Here you go. I'm just going to turn them off, and then I'm going to turn them on again and then put them on music, and it's actually syncing to the sound of my voice right now. But what I'm going to do is play some music off of the iPad so you can see it dancing with the music. And then that's stopped. And then any motion you see here is just my voice. And then here we go again. I don't know if I'm more excited about the accessory or the lights themselves and the way they look. The way you string these up is going to be to your home preference, so keep that in mind. You guys are going to be able to pick your own way to string your lights, make your night riding awesome with this, or whatever USB accessory that you want. But we are pretty proud of this plugin and this ability to get it done plug and play. This install honestly was about 10 minutes and it will save you one from having to unplug your bike and do the dual plug-in, uh, adding a second battery into your frame, or opening your bike, pulling the first, and then putting in the second. You can just plug it in. Y'all keep in mind that we do have the adapter for a second factory battery. So if you want to have a second factory battery as your second battery with this setup, you can use that as well. We do recommend the bike case bag. This setup works really great, fits the length for the battery, and then it does have two straps that will attach to your rear rack and hold this battery in, and it is waterproof except for the outlet, which is pretty awesome. All of these things can be found on the Lectric All-Wheel website. This is great. I'm still not over this music sync light scenario that I'm going to be able to have on this Lectric. There you have it. We have successfully installed dual battery on this Lectric XP 3.0 step through bike. We have 20 amp hours on this thing. And what I've gone ahead and done is shown you a separate install, and this one's even better. This is the bike case bottle cage strap adapters attached to a 15 amp hour high-long down tube battery, which you can utilize. It's a 48 volt battery, and we really like that. Keep in mind, you need to get two M5 screws that will allow the battery to slide over the mounting plate. We do have a video regarding that in our YouTube channel, so check that out if you're interested in a larger battery than this 10 amp hour 48 volt battery that we have utilized in the install. The phone case bag is holding our USB accessory plugins, and we had our dancing string lights LED, the red, green, and blue lights with the remote control and music sync, which is awesome. We'll leave a link for these as well so you can check them out. The DateX2, remember, this is a 30 amp continuous, 45 amp max. That thing is super powered, so you're going to want to keep a hold of that. If you move up to a higher class bike, if you have an XP and you want to use it, that's not a problem. It will work across the entirety of the Lectric lineup that we have done all our install videos on for dual batteries, so don't worry about that. If you feel like you want to have a DX2 on any of the electric vehicles that we have done an install video on, you can use the DX2 on that if you want the accessory plug-in. We're super proud of the accessory plug-in, makes it super easy. Honestly, it was for us a 10-minute install. It was easy peasy. I've practiced this, so if it takes you 30 minutes, who cares? It will be good for you. That goes out to our friend Chris L. Thank you very much for your demonstration of the time on there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate your comments as well. Let me go ahead and give you some range calculations for this 48 volt 10 amp hour battery in the setup that we've already done. So the original battery is 10 amp hours, and we've added another 10 amp hours, so that's 20 amp hours, and we're going to multiply that by 48, which gives you 960 watt hours, and then we're going to divide that by 25, which is the Mica toll constant, which says it's 25 watt hours per mile ridden at 20 miles an hour throttle only. And we're going to divide that by 25, and you get 38 miles at 20 miles an hour throttle only. If you're doing a general ride and your continuous output is at 10 to 12, you're not going to see much power loss or battery capacity loss due to the accessory plugins, except unless you leave them plugged in for a continuous amount of time. So just keep that in mind. Your ride will lose maybe 4 or 5 miles at most, and you'll have all of your accessories. So you're going to be able to go for a good clip with charging your accessories or having your lights on and flashing with that music. We are super excited about this. Keep in mind, you are not restricted to the 10 amp hour battery that we utilize. You can use any 48 volt battery you want. Just make sure that your BMS is capable of handling the current limit on your controller, and that is well within the limits for these electric bikes at 20. That's why we use the original 20 amp balancer. Also, if you don't need the accessory plug-in, the 20 amp balancer, the OG original, is going to be good enough. A lot of people out there have it, so keep that in mind. The rest of our lineup is compatible with the XT60, so if you already have those accessories, you won't need the extensions either. You just plug in your DateX2 just as you've seen in the video. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary, and if you're in the area, check out E-Bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Get in that Facebook group, make an event, and go for a ride with your friends. And now, if you do this install, you can get in a Let's Glow Riding group ride, which we will post in the E-Bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida Facebook group, so that you can go glow riding with your accessory plugins with your e-bike friends. We'll talk to you next time.